Hi, friends. Here is a review of Batman: A Death in the Family. I picked this up for dirt cheap at Free Comic Book Day. They had sales at my shop, and I knew this was a kind of a important story, so I got it. Um, it says controversial bestseller. The controversy is that they had Jason Todd, a new Robin for Batman, and they didn't know if they were gonna kill him off or not. So they had fans phone in to a 1-900 number. So it cost them, I think, like $1 per call in the 1980s, which was pricey, and they got to vote whether or not Jason would die or not. Now, whether this was a legitimate thing or if it was a scam to just get people to call in and collect their money and then they were just going to do what they wanted anyway, because they could just say, yeah, the calls for the death of Robin won out. So but apparently there is a script laying around uh, of the Robin not dying, so I don't know. It has an introduction, uh, the which I thought was cool. I don't. This is not in the books in general, the original copies. It's written by Denny O'Neil, but the conceit is that it's written in the future, looking back at the superhero phenomenon, and it's written by Dr. Socrates S. Roeder, which as a fan of the Question, I thought that was a cool nod to the Question's kind of friend, mentor, sort of butler. His Aristotle Roeder, which would be the Question's equivalent of Alfred for Batman. And he discusses whether it was ethical to have a Robin, to have a young person involved in crime fighting and all that. Some early Mike Mignola art of Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame, which contrasts like quite starkly with the Jim Aparo cartooning, which is a lot more basic, a lot more conventional, conservative. Uh, to me, it's not particularly attractive. I mean, it's serviceable. I was able to, read the storytelling. There's no confusion or anything, but there's also like no excitement or no risks taken. I was also quite surprised at how kind of boring the story is. Um, it's I would have expected to be kind of a big deal, but the idea is that Robin is trying to find his estranged mother, and it takes them on an international trip, and which the Joker ends up also being on, because he needs to sell this cruise missile in order to make money, because he just got out of Arkham and he's broke, which just was it kind of lowers the Joker to just a regular criminal, you know. Um, there's nothing. He's just a criminal, like a boss, just with weird makeup and a shtick, and it just made him appear quite weak. And then you're supposed to believe that he does this thing where he kills Robin. I don't know. Um, Robin's quite mopey and annoying in this, which maybe is the reason why he was voted to be killed. I don't know. Um, and the captions and the dialogue are over the top obvious. There's very little room for interpretation. I think they're aiming for clarity of storytelling, but there are really moments where instead of letting the reader kind of figure out what the moral dilemma is, they straight up spell it out. Do I just walk up and ask her if she's my mother? It's like, I don't know. There's certain moments like that. See, this action, it's good. It's good, but it's not extraordinary. So I was kind of hoping, in my mind, it's like this is the death of Robin. It's going to be a big story, but it's just a story. So, and there's this very thin premise where, this is a good piece, right? Strong piece. It has moments, right? There's a super thin premise where the Joker becomes like the ambassador of a country to the UN, and it's so absurd and ridiculous. There's just the UN guy, the guy from Iran or some country, just says, "Okay, you're gonna be my ambassador to the UN," and that's it. It just grants Joker immunity and a pardon for his crimes, and everybody is okay with that, except Batman, of course, and Superman's on the side of the UN. Of course, in the end, when Joker shows himself to be completely irredeemable, Superman does save the day with the help of Batman. But Superman just okay, he gets rid of the Joker gas that the Joker released, but then he says, "Okay, Batman, he's yours," as if like he's gonna take a chance. Like Superman can just take care of the Joker like that, and he doesn't. He's just like, "Okay, Batman, let's take a gamble. You can take care of this." And Joker presumably dies in a helicopter crash, but there's no body. So it's basic. It's good as far as superheroes go. I imagine at the time there was some hype because of the whole call-in vote, and is he gonna die? Is he not gonna die? Good marketing, but how was it 40 years later, 35 years later? That hype is not there, and all that's left is just the substance of the story. And though it has its moments, like this, a countdown bomb, and this is a good layout. It shows, the time. It's not easy to communicate tension and suspense in a comic book, right? This is a clever layout, but this is not. It's basic. So those are my thoughts on the Batman: A Death in the Family trade paperback. Actually a bit of a slog to read through. I guess my favorite parts would be the intro. That's my favorite part, the intro by a descendant of Aristotle Roeder, as a fan of The Question and The Question's supporting cast. This was a cool bit for me. But you can see, compare Mike Mignola's artwork to Jim Apato's, right? There's something fresh and invigorating about this, and there's something conventional and standard. So I feel a little bit uncomfortable saying that because obviously Jim Apato's a much better cartoonist than I probably will ever be. But um, as I'm giving my impressions as a reader. So, with much respect to Mr. Aparo, this I felt there was potential for this to be a grander, more epic thing. So, um, did you read Batman and the Death in the Family while it was coming out? Tell me how that was. I'm interested in this. Yeah, check the links in the description, subscribe, all that stuff. See you in the next one.